I recently got this vintage dress. I just love it. It's bark cloth, it's late 60s, and it's from the Sears Hawaii collection. But it's just too long. I just feel too frumpy in it. So today, we are going to go over my favorite hemming technique, and that is the bias-faced hem. And if you're not familiar with this technique yet, you definitely want to learn it and add it to your sewing repertoire. So this technique is found in luxury higher-end garments, and it's a beautiful finish. And you don't need a serger. So first things first, we need to figure out how much shorter do I want to make this dress. And it is that late 60s, early 70s vibe, so I'm going to go short with it. So that way we're going to keep with that little mini mod look. So I want my length to be right below my fingertips. So I'm gonna put my hand down at my side and I'm going to put a pin like 1/2 inch below my fingertips. So we are going to shorten the dress that short. Now you could pin all the way around, but I generally just like to mark one spot. And then when we take it off, we'll do some precise measuring to make sure everything's going to be even. For this technique, you're going to need some bias tape. And I recommend 1/2 inch wide single fold bias tape. So if you haven't used bias tape before, what it is it's a really narrow piece of fabric and it's cut on the bias. So it has a little bit of a stretch to it. So it wraps really nice around curves and straight edges. This makes it perfect for adding it to a hem, especially if it has a curve like a circle skirt. If you're buying pre-bought bias tape, it does come in different widths. You can also get it in different types of fabric. You can also make your own. I'll leave some video links down below in the description that show you how to create your own bias tape. Real quick, before we move on, if you're enjoying Sewing Anastasia, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a lot. And hit that notification bell so you know when the new tutorials come out. And if you'd like to learn more about sewing, make sure you check out our online and in-person courses, along with our online sewing club. There's links down below for everything. Now let's get back to this bias-faced hem. So you might be wondering, why is this technique called a bias-faced hem? Why isn't it just called bias binding? Why isn't it called just hemming? Why isn't it just called a facing? Well, it's a combination of all these things. So we're going to be using bias tape to create a facing, hence a bias-faced hem, because a facing is a pattern piece inside of a garment that is used to finish the edge. The facing is the inside pattern piece, and we're going to be using the bias tape to finish the edge, and it's going to be on the inside. Now, if it was just a bias bound hem, you would see the binding on both sides, the front and the back, and it would kind of cup around the edge. And that's not what we're doing. Our entire piece of bias tape is going to be on the inside of the hem like a facing. Now let's get to adding that technique to the hem of our dress. So I have my pin marked right over here, and I'm going to be measuring from the pin down to see how much we're taking off. And I'm going to be leaving a 1/4 inch extra for hemming, for sewing the bias facing on. And it looks like I have about 21 inches that I need to take off the bottom. And that's awesome because I'm using the scrap of the bottom of this dress to make a matching little jacket. So we're going to be measuring from the bottom up 21 inches. And we're measuring from the bottom up because I know my hem is even, and you see the slight curve to the hem. We want to mimic that up at the top. And if we just go cutting our hem directly across, it's going to look really funny and pointy at the side seams. So we want to maintain this slight curve. It's what gives our hem a nice even appearance when we're wearing it, and it drapes at the sides. So I've marked one side, and now I'm going to flip it over to the back and do the same thing. Now I have the back and the front marked where I need to cut. I'm going to be cutting through one layer at a time. So I'm going to put a little snip into the fabric and then just work my way all the way around. Always feels a little scary cutting into vintage because there's no going back or cutting out another piece. And now our dress is much shorter. Oh my gosh, we did it. We cut it off. Now, something you want to be sure that you're doing when you cut into seams is that you're going back and you're adding some back stitches so that way your seams don't start to fall apart, because once you cut into a seam, it just starts to unravel. So now we need to go back to the 3 seams on this dress and just add a couple back stitches at the bottom of each seam. So I went ahead and just reinforced that little seam. You can see those extra back stitches there. Now it's time to start working with our bias tape. So we're going to take the bias tape, right side of the dress with the right side of the bias tape. And you have to make sure you open up that first fold. And I want you to leave about an inch hanging off past center back. And we're going to be going through one layer, make sure all your seam allowances are flat open. And we're going to sew in this first crease on the bias tape all the way around. And then I'm going to show you a special little detail when we get back to where we started. And if you are making your own bias tape and you don't have creases in it, just sew 1/4 of an inch away from the edge or whatever you left for seam allowance. So now we're going to open up that fold and pin all the way around the hem. Just every few inches, making sure that we open up that fold, or you're just pinning the raw edge to the raw edge. But don't forget, right side of the binding with the right side of the fabric. We need to make sure that these edges are perfectly lined up. So I have all the bias tape pinned up all the way around the hem. And again, I've left extra at the center back seam where they're going to end up meeting. And I'm going to show you how to deal with that while we're in the sewing machine. Starting at the center back seam, and I'm going to be stitching right in the crease of the bias tape. I'm going to add a few back stitches and just follow all the way around. If you have not engaged your needle down button yet today, I would engage that now. So every time you stop, your needle will be in the fabric. And if you don't have that option on your sewing machine, just every time you stop, take your hand wheel, pull it towards you, make sure the needle is in the fabric. So there's that pin. I'm going to go one more stitch forward, add my back stitches, and then let's take it out and sew these ends together. So you can see in here, we haven't sewn the bias tape together. We've just sewn to it. And it looks like I could add a couple more stitches in there. So I'm just going to add a couple more stitches so that way I'm meeting the bias tape right up to the other side. So now we have that first row of stitching in all the way around. It's looking great. So now what we need to do are connect these two ends together. So we're going to end up sewing this on a 45-degree angle so it's not as bulky. So we're going to take these ends and we're going to flop them so that way they're making a 90-degree angle. So one's going up straight, one's horizontal. Now, when we sew this, we want to make sure that our bias tape folds are completely open. So I'm going to open up these folds and I'm going to put a pin in it right here so you can just see what's going on. Okay, so I've got that fold happening at 90 degrees. And now what we're going to do is sew on a 45-degree angle. So we're going to sew from the tip of that open fold all the way down to that stitch mark where we stopped stitching. And it's real important that you stop right at that stitch mark where we stopped stitching. And that line I just drew, we're going to sew that line now. So I'm going to be sewing right where I drew that angle on a 45. And again, just stopping right there at that stitch and back stitching. So now what we're going to do is cut off this extra chunk. So leave about a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but now we can go ahead and cut this off. And now here's where it all comes together. When we fold this back, you can see how the bias tape is connected on a 45-degree angle, just how they connect it in manufacturing when they run out of pieces. And now it's going to sew beautifully for our next 2 rows of stitching. Now we're going to add an understitch. So you could skip this next understitch, but it's going to turn out so much nicer if you do. So what we're going to do is make sure our seam allowance is faced towards the bias tape. And from the bias tape side, we're going to add a little stitch 1/8 of an inch away from the seam, making sure we are stitching the seam allowance to the bias tape. So I have my alignment set up to do an edge stitch. So again, 1/8 of an inch or closer to that seam. We are stitching down that seam allowance to the bias tape. And make sure you don't stretch out your bias tape when you are adding the stitch. That is possible to do because it is cut on the bias. Stop and rotate your fabric whenever you need to keep it nice and flat. You get back to where you started, overlap a couple stitches, add a couple back stitches, and let's go take a look at it. So you can see we have this little edge stitch right on the edge of the bias tape, and then you can see that it is stitched down to the seam allowance in the back. For the last step, we're going to take the whole piece of bias tape and we flip it to the inside and sew it down. First, you want to iron and make sure that you have a nice crisp seam right where the bias tape is. So you don't want to bring it in like, or you could bring it in like this, but I don't recommend that. For the bias tape facing hem, you just want to fold the bias tape in, so that way it's looking something like that. And then we're going to add a little edge stitch on this side of the bias tape to keep it down to the inside. So I'm flipping this bias facing to the inside and ironing it flat down, making sure that that other fold on the other side of the binding is still folded in. And now we're all done ironing. So we're going to add our final edge stitch to the edge of the folded binding here. Again, just make sure that you have that 1/4 inch fold towards the inside so you have a nice clean edge over here, and make sure you're not stretching out your binding while you're attaching it. You get back to where you started, overlap a few of your stitches, add some back stitches, and let's take a look. We are finished. Look at how beautiful our bias face hem looks on the inside. Such a gorgeous finish. And from the outside, you do see a line of stitching. I have used a matching purple thread in the bobbin, so it's really hard to see. So this is just such a nice way to finish a hem. If your hem pops up a little when you sit down, you have that beautiful finish on the inside. And here it is on, so much better hemmed. I feel like I can actually move around and it looks so mod. I love the design. And if we flip it up, you can see that beautiful bias facing right there at the hem. I just love this hem finish. It's just such a nice, clean, professional look. And if you don't want to see stitching on the outside, you can also blind hem it as your final stitch. Little insider tip there. So I hope you try this hem finish for your next project. And I would love to know what it's going to be on, so leave it down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video today, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when all the new tutorials come out. And if you want to learn more about sewing, make sure you check out our online and in-person sewing classes here in Chicago. And we also have a sewing club you can join where we get a new pattern every single month with lessons. And if you want to know what's going on in the studio right now, well, make sure you check out the Instagram stories. Thank you so much for watching today. Bye!